March 18th, Mike Tyson Razor Ruddock dies. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
Okay, I'm at the Brook Gavin weigh-in in London here with the Magic Man himself, looking very cool in his shades, Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie, regular visitor to these shows now. Everyone loves your commentary. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's always a pleasure to be back. I get a lot of support from the UK, the fans. Really appreciate it. Very knowledgeable fans. And I love the support I get here. And it's always great to be among fans that are so passionate about the sport. It makes watching a fight, it makes calling a fight all the more fun, all the more enjoyable. Yeah. When you know the fans that are watching it are so passionate behind what you're saying and with the action that's going on in the ring as well. Okay,
you're supposed to be fighting in a couple of days, obviously. Injury pulled you out. Firstly, how are you? How's the injury coming up?
It's good. You know, I have stitches are out, so I've got some. You know, the cut is healing. It's it'll be all right. You know, it's just a cut. Obviously, you can't fight with a cut, but especially that kind of cut. But you can't go in the ring with one. Should I say? But anyway, I'll be all right. I'll heal up and I'll be back later on in the year.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't in the plans to be in London this week. Obviously, you know, I planned on being in a boxing ring in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But things happen, and I'm glad. If things had to change, if plans had to change, I'm glad I'm here in London, because I think if I was in Brooklyn and I attended the Amir Khan fight, I would probably be a bit down on myself, feeling like I should have been in the ring that night. So be somewhere across the way in England, kind of a distraction for me, and I'll watch the Khan fight on television and call the Kell Brook fight here.
Prior to your announcement of coming back, there was obviously possible talk about retirement as well. How quick did you come to the decision to fight again?
I wasn't sure, you know. I'm always on the borderline between retirement and continuing, you know, because money is not really the issue for me as far as fighting is concerned. So if I want to retire, I can and still live comfortably. But of course, sometimes you miss the competition, you miss the adrenaline rush, and you know, you change your mind.
Yeah. How do you look at the Khan Algieri fight? A lot of people kind of underrating Algieri in this fight. How do you see this fight playing out?
I think Algieri's a good fighter. I just don't think it's stylistically a matchup that favors him. You know, if you look at Khan's career, what troubles him are more bangers. Pure boxers without any kind of bang don't trouble him. You know, myself, Devin Alexander, Luis Collazo had a lot of trouble with Amir, because there's not much more than timing kind of boxer. If you're just a timing kind of boxer and just that, you're gonna have trouble with Amir. You have to have a bit more physicality to you. You have to be able to box a little bit, but I think there has to be a physicality to you, a la Maidana, a la Bertz Prescott, Danny Garcia even, who was losing, but again, that bang in him allowed him to take chances. Bangers take more chances. I think you can't just be just a pure boxer. I think a pure boxer can do well, but he has to have more than that to beat Amir. That's why I think the Kell Brook fight with Amir Khan is such a good fight, because Kell has that mixture of bang and boxing, you know, as opposed to myself, Collazo, Alexander. You saw those fights, and I think there's a reason why we had a lot of trouble with Amir, and I think Algieri's going to run into the same problem, because he's maybe not the same fighter as us. He has his own style, but he's in the same mold in that way, and that he just looks to box.
Looking to the main fights in this card, Kell Brook versus Frankie Gavin. How do you see that one playing out? Brook just too tough, or?
It's hard to pick against Kell right now. He's having such a good moment, but Frankie Gavin has the pedigree and the background to show us that he knows how to fight. And I think I rate amateur success a lot. And Frankie had a very great amateur career, and so I think somebody has had that kind of pedigree, has that kind of background. They can always summon themselves to fight well in the moment. I think Frankie's good enough to give Kell some fits, give Kell some tough moments. I don't think he's being given the credit he deserves in the fight, but it's hard to pick against Kell Brook right now. He's in such a good moment, and he's flying high, and I think Kell's among the best fighters in the world, so you got to pick Kell, but I think Frankie's deserving.
Okay. Everyone says the toughest fight on the card to call, or the fight everyone's looking forward to most, is Mitchell versus Linares. How do you think that fight plays out? I know you know Linares well. You've seen Kevin Mitchell fight as well up close. How do you think it plays out?
I think they're both guys that have a little underachieved in their careers a little bit. Linares, such a smooth style, such a good boxer. But you know, he's if you look at his career, I think more was expected of him. And you say, oh, how does a three-time world champion underachieve? Well, none of his title reigns have lasted.
Linares manager there, people.
Yeah, none of his title reigns has lasted what was expected of him. I think Linares is world-class talent, but I think this is his chance to really come out and show what he's all about against a dangerous opponent who himself has underachieved in his career. I think Kevin Mitchell, you know, having never won a world championship, considering the talent he's shown in spots in his career, also has his moment. So I think it's a good moment for both to kind of show signs of the talent that they've shown in spots, the incredible ability that they've shown in spots, but it just lack of consistency has been there for both guys, and I think there's a chance for one of them to get that consistency going.
Okay, thanks for your time. And final thoughts as well. Lee Selby obviously fights Gradovic on the card. Everyone's at Lee Selby. We haven't seen the best of him yet. We haven't seen an opponent that's going to push him. Is Gradovic that man?
Well, if you haven't seen an opponent that's going to push him, Gradovic will definitely push him, that's for sure. We'll see how Lee handles it. Lee's a good boxer. If you're a good boxer, obviously it bodes well for you in this sport, but you have to be able to box the high-class level of pressure fighters, and Gradovic is a very high-class level of pressure fighter. He's a world champion for a reason. So to be able to box a Gradovic, Evgeny Gradovic, obviously makes Lee's moment. And I think proves that he belongs among the elite, among the top fighters. And obviously he'll have won the world title to prove that if he beats Gradovic on Saturday night.
Okay, final question, Paulie. Again, thanks for your time. Miguel Cotto fights in a couple of weeks against Daniel Gill. Now he's getting a lot of stick, obviously, middleweight champion, fighting at catch weights. What should he do? Should he go back down to 154? I mean, is there any points at 160 when he's not going to fight guys at 160?
I think the trick is maybe to fight eventually at 154. I think the fight everybody's looking at is Canelo, which I mean Canelo and Cotto is a great fight, it's a dynamite fight. But I think it's a junior middleweight fight. But you know what? He's got the middleweight title. The weight limit, the maximum you can be at middleweight is 160. That means you can be over 154 and still fight at middleweight. You know?
Very true. Yeah.
So there's no rules against that. I guess he's the champion. He calls the shots. Either way, I think the fight everybody's looking forward to is Cotto and Canelo in the fall, and both of those guys are junior middleweights, meaning the catchweight won't bother either of them.
And when will we see you back in the ring, Paulie?
Probably in the fall.
Yeah, definitely.
I never say definitely. I never say never. But
okay.
I look forward to if things come my way and I like the way they sound, I'm all for it.
There you go.